What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we're jumping into Strange, issue number 5. What we have seen so far, Clea Strange, the new Sorcerer Supreme. She is facing off against the Blasphemy Cartel. They have been targeting innocent magical refugees. They also have been resurrecting dead superheroes, using them for very nefarious goals. And so Clea Strange, she struck back, decimating one of their hideouts. They didn't take this attack too lightly. This is when they unleashed a zombified Shadow Knight. While Clea was entertaining her mother, these two warlords laid down some hate. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, you have liked this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so our story is starting us off at the Sanctum. We currently have Clea's mother, and right now she is drinking the blood of these Blasphemy Cartel members. And while Clea Strange would love to clean up this very quickly so the neighbors can't see, she is currently preoccupied with Death's Sorcerer Supreme, the one known as the Harvestman, the one person that seems to be standing between her and resurrecting Stephen Strange. This is where we get some information on what are called Revenants, these superheroes that have been coming back to life. Right now, there is a rebellion at Death's domain. The endless dead are being called back to the land of the living. A siren song is being sung. The problem is, these dead, they have been dead for so long. They lack any kind of identity, any kind of self. All of these long years eroding, they have really become mad and directionless. And while all of these dead, they can't really find identities of themselves. A superhero, that's a symbol, a very simple identity, a clever name, a garnished costume, something that is very easy to comprehend. And so these ghosts, they are banding together in the hundreds, in the thousands, and they are possessing costume heroes and villains. This is what is making them so very powerful. But the one question that neither of them can answer, what is the connection between these revenants and the Blasphemy Cartel? The Harvestman not really having any kind of answer to this. He has been tasked by Death to end the Revenant threat, follow wherever this investigation might bring him. And so for the time being, their two goals are aligning. Clea is willing to help out as much as she can, but she wants to bargain. She wants Dr. Strange returned to her. This is when the Harvestman says no, telling her time and time again that she needs to abandon this goal, that he belongs to Death, and she must forget about him. And that is when the Harvestman leaves, turning into a flock of ravens or crows. He disappears. Clea having one more conversation with her mother, letting her know she has no intention of taking over this world, regardless of the power that is currently bestowed upon her, a power that she never wanted to begin with. Her main and only goal right now is resurrecting Dr. Strange. And so, not really knowing what direction to head in, we pick up the next night and she is having a conversation with Moon Knight. Because Moon Knight, he is somebody that has returned from the dead, and on several different occasions. She finds it odd that there are heroes and villains alike that can be resurrected, that can be brought back from the dead, but for some reason, Dr. Strange isn't coming back. What got her in the idea of thinking about talking to him is because just recently, she fought against Randall, brother to Moon Knight, but also someone that Moon Knight is not very fond of. And so the two of them begin talking as Moon Knight heads out for the night. Clea accompanies him while they have their conversation, trying to figure out why Dr. Strange can't be resurrected, because it's not simply just using some magic and bringing him back, that it is much more complicated at this point in time, that Dr. Strange, he is no ordinary soul. This was the Sorcerer Supreme, believing that Death simply wouldn't just let him go. As they make their rounds, we have Moon Knight checking in on 8-Ball. Really, he comes here to his apartment just to give him a scare. Clea doesn't really understand what Moon Knight Knight is doing. The truth is, Moon Knight doesn't have magical powers. He has to scare them, everyone, through this fear. That is how the Fist of Khonshu is able to be so powerful. But he goes on to say that being Moon Knight, being the Fist of Khonshu, dying and coming back to life, this is all just part of the job. That is because the work never ends. This makes Clea wonder, why does Khonshu have such leeway on bringing back who he wants? Why does he have such liberties with death? While Moon Knight is beating up some thugs in an alleyway, he lets her know that for one, Khonshu is a god. The currency of life and death is more like pocket change to them, being interrupted because Moon Knight is trying to get information out of this guy. As he is unwilling to give it up, we see Clea Strange step in. If anybody can get the information very quickly, it is her, showing him some horrors of the dark dimension. This guy spills his beans so very quickly, with this giving them the new location of whatever Moon Knight is trying to track down. We have Moon Knight beating the crap out of some thugs, and we have Clea Strange saving some civilian lives. The person that they are going after is Dr. Payne. Clea pinning him up against the wall. Dr. Payne is the one that eats brains. That is what he has been doing lately, with Clea recognizing how absolutely crazy this guy is. After everything that he has done, she decides to send him somewhere. Before Moon Knight gets the opportunity to try and kill this guy or bring him into jail, we see him disappear, and Dr. Payne shows up, and he has the mindless ones chasing after him, sending him to a place where brains do not matter. And so with the night winding down, Clea being able to get a little bit of insight. With one last word, Moon Knight lets her know that you need someone with power and influence to do what you want to do. The kind of power that a god would have. Because Doctor Strange, he would be a good get for any god or any other power and serious influence and pull. The question now, who would be powerful enough to get a former Sorcerer Supreme to work for them? Picking up in the graveyard just a little bit later, we have the Harvestman who unmasks himself. The Harvestman is, like many of you guessed it, the one, the only, Stephen Strange. As he talks to Death, letting her know that he is yet to get rid of all revenants. That Clea Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme, had interfered in doing this work, with Death believing that there might require some kind of correction of the Sorcerer Supreme, believing that she has been stepping out of her lane. Doctor Strange goes on to say that Clea fights for love, she fights for hope of a reunion, as does Doctor Strange, letting Death know that you may have Stephen Strange as your Harvestman, that Death may have his very soul, but his heart will always belong to Clea Strange. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Many of you had guessed it. The Harvestman is in fact Stephen Strange. Stephen dead, now working for Death as her Sorcerer Supreme. And with a rebellion going on in hell currently, having someone like Stephen Strange by your side is not a bad idea. She more than likely had promised him resurrection, or maybe not to kill Clea. Who knows on why he is actually working for her. We just know that he is in fact working for Death. You know, and early on in the issue, it was pretty given away by the dialogue, but how they talked to one another, that this was going to be Stephen Strange. You know, like they say, nobody stays dead in comics. Even in death, they are still alive. This is eventually going to set up the groundwork for Stephen Strange to make a return, more than likely to the comic book world, to the land of the living. One of the biggest questions is, what is it going to take for Death to release her icy grip from around the soul of Stephen Strange? Another question, how is the Blasphemy Cartel really luring all of these souls, all of these ghosts, into superhero bodies? Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything that has been happening since the death of Doctor Strange, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, sub to the channel, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.